was gonna say how excited I was that you made the sound, but it was extra long today. But I'm excited to be here today because I feel real amp and just very happy and bright today. But as always, I am Daphny Emily.
And I'm Eerees.
And we are Soulful She.
Two bodacious, gorgeous, beautiful, phenomenal women of Brockton, unraveling our truth on identity, on mental health, on empowerment and fashion through conversations from the soul.
And today we're here on, this is episode 14.
14.
Yeah, it's 14. Episode 14 today.
Is it 14?
Is it 15? Is it 15? Girl, we don't know. Y'all find out
One
when we
of
put it up.
these.
14, 15, 16, 17, we here.
The next episode.
We still here. How about that? But happy to be here today. And I guess starting off, keeping it real quick, I always make you go first and I'll be nice today. Because, you know, I've been anything but nice the last few days. So might as well be nice today. But keeping it real quick, Eerees season has started, and I'm not an Aries, I can't relate, but I know that fire signs and my Leo rising has been real on fire lately, so I feel like they correlate in such a way. So I've been real spicy. You know how I described myself earlier, a little more like a snapping turtle. I'm just ready to anybody that just reaches the wrong way. You know, I'm cute, but
You snap.
yeah, I snap, and I real hard sometimes. So that's me the last few days, but I feel good right now. I think being in the presence of fun conversations and good people has been great. Also, the weather is getting warmer, and I felt like what I'm wearing today is bringing out exactly what I want to express. So keeping it real quick, I'm feeling real good right now. I'm feeling nice and not mean, because I was on the verge of that all day today. So
Okay.
today I didn't accomplish much at work. Didn't accomplish anything. So I'm just gonna try again tomorrow.
We have 4 more days.
I have a lot to do, but we have 4 more days, just like you said. But that's just me keeping it real quick. I'm feeling good.
Okay.
I feel like I took a shot of tequila and I didn't. So.
Whoa! That's good. That means that you are high on life. You're drunk on life.
I'm not drunk. We don't want to see me drunk.
But I mean,
no.
Yes. Keeping it real quick, I will also agree with you. I feel like today and just today, it felt just like I don't remember. I spoke to John, our videographer, and then a couple of other people, and every time they're like, "Oh, how's it going?" I'm just like, I'm just here. Like, it's like I'm not super excited. I'm not sad. I'm not like it just felt very like there. And it
existing.
Yeah. So like I very much felt like I felt like I was on autopilot because it was very much just like there. And then I put on yellow to like liven myself up, and then I brought my rainbow cup to like liven myself up. And I feel like when I heard that you were wearing colorful colors, I was like, this autopilot needs to run away, and I need to bring in the energy. And I think that after our pre-conversation before, it definitely livened our moods and energy. So I will say I'm definitely in better spirits. And keeping it real quick, I feel good.
Word. You drunk all life?
I'm grateful for the
I don't know. The way it took you a long time to say that, you might be.
I'm grateful for being present.
Okay.
Yes.
Grateful, yes. Being grateful has definitely been big for me lately. And like, you know how I used to always see 11 before and all the numbers and all this. So I stopped for a while and they started again. So I'm taking that as in there's certain things that I'm trying to resolve right now. I took a huge step with it this weekend. I didn't tell you yet, but we'll talk about it.
I think I know.
So just feeling like that ending on the horizon on top of other endings coming up, I just feel great.
Woo!
Let's keep it real quick.
Nice. Nice. And I think that this is a good molder to bringing us to the conversations of the soul, because I think that conversation of the soul for today is really speaking on what's going on right now, our ups and downs, and just life, and how things have changed. And so you specifically mentioned the sun is in the horizon, but it wasn't there before. So just really thinking about, seasonal depression, what does that look like? And the moods that we've been, and then also dealing with that while being in COVID. What does being in COVID look like with seasonal depression, or just in general? And then on top of that, seasonal depression, COVID, and then not being stuck at home. So like that quarantine gains, what does that look like? All of that jazz. And then now to what is apparently we're transitioning from 6 feet to 3 feet, and from there does not sound like fun.
Are we transitioning to 3 feet?
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh, now I get the joke.
And so from 6 feet to 3 feet, because people are beginning to do vaccines. So what does that look like? How is that conversation?
I don't need people closer to me than 6 feet anymore.
Girl.
I liked it.
Girl. And sometimes people weren't even doing it.
I mean, yeah.
So just thinking of, all of that, and what does that mean for, life opening up to events and weddings and things of that nature. So I wanted to bundle all of that up in a nice little bowl and be like, let's talk about it. So
yes.
let's talk about all of that. And I wanted to start it off with, we both talked about our moods and how this beautiful conversation that we had before we started to record brought us into good moods, but we weren't there before. And so, Daphne, do you have seasonal depression? What does that look like? Or I guess, if you had to step into that conversation, how would you delve into what is seasonal depression? Do I get seasonal depression? How does that look like for you?
Well, first and foremost, disclaimer, I've never been diagnosed with it. I can't say I have seasonal depression. I can say I have seen certain symptoms that may relate, but I think coming from the northeast of, coming from Massachusetts, a lot of people kind of go through it, because not only do we shift, like the time changes, it gets darker earlier, but then the weather changes on top of everything else that's happened the last year, and us being stuck working at home, I think plays into it a lot. But something I've learned about myself in terms of the aspect of seasonal depression is I've learned to accept that I really, really love the sun, and that I really, really need it.
Yes.
It just changes my mood completely when the sun is out. And even if it's cold, just having kind of just the brightness of it.
Yeah.
So before, when I was at my mom's house, she has a sunroom, and I made that my bedroom. And I put white curtains, and had to do it. I needed it. And some people are like, why would you want the sun to be coming in early in the morning? But it's honestly, on the days that the sun is shining the most and I wake up smiling, because I'm just look at life, look at the world we're living in, and I'm just waking up to this sunshine beaming. And then my furniture was white, my bedding is white, I just wanted to just be bright. And I remember my aunt coming in there one day and saying her daughter that suffers actual depression went and painted her room dark colors. Ooh. And then they put dark curtains, and she would tell her not to do that, because that's not going to help you.
Yeah.
And I told my aunt, honestly, the reason why I have the brightness is because I know I can fall into a dark place when I'm in darkness. And I've learned that I've learned that I definitely need sun, and if I'm feeling I'm falling into this darker place, I know what's something that starts helping me out from it. So keeping myself surrounded by light is definitely big for me. When it comes to wintertime, I don't really like it. I don't like the cold. People have said, well, you were born and raised here. I don't care. I'm a warm-blooded mammal.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't like the cold. And it gets dark so early, and with the last year being with COVID and being working at home, and now living in a basement, so my apartment's in this basement, so it's not a lot of light
coming in.
Yeah, so it's I felt it. You know, I'd have my days when I'd be like, damn.
The sunroom though that you had.
You know, my mental state is probably a lot healthier not living there anymore.
Yeah.
But if I could bring the sunroom with me, it would have been amazing. But yeah, for me, seasonal depression, just the idea, I feel like there's a lot of people that kind of go through it. A lot of people don't notice it in the moment, but I've learned that to catch myself in certain like thought processes and all of that. There was a TikTok I saw a few weeks back where this girl is talking about like love languages and how when we're shifting into this dark place or when we're feeling our worst, we fall into the opposite of our love language. And I was like, you know what? My love language is quality time. And I found myself wanting to just be alone or just being alone. And then while I'm alone, just being unhappy.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe she got a point there. Maybe I am missing this like aspect of being with people, being around people. Like, I don't love people. I just love the people I love. I don't love.
I love how you were clear about that.
Because now that it's gonna be 3 feet, I want people to know, like, if I don't like you like that, or know you like that, like 6 feet, it's okay. You can stay there.
Maybe even more.
I mean, if you don't even gotta interact with me, it's all good with me. But yeah, I just knew I was missing that, missing hanging out with friends, missing just like being in a space that you don't have to think too much about what's going on in life and just be in the moment with people having fun. So that definitely is how I've been. I've been feeling better because the weather's getting better, and I feel like naturally other people are getting excited and ready to go. So yeah, I'll keep it there for me for seasonal depression before we jump into everything else.
Okay. I would definitely agree with all that you have said, and also acknowledge that I was born and raised in Boston, so I don't have any transitional of like being in a different space. But I will say one thing that COVID has forced us to do is to slow down. COVID has forced us to slow down. COVID has allowed us to really pay attention to what truly matters. And so for me, COVID, because it has slowed us down and it has given me space to just be, because I have been raised to live in I've been living hybridly. So I live in Brockton, but I work in Boston. And so my life has always been since high school, traveling back and forth. So I'm traveling during the nighttime in the morning or during the dawn time during the morning, and then traveling at night. So like I don't see the sun because I'm inside the building by the time that it does get nice and beautiful. So like it's been very routine, and everything has been fast because we live in Western society. Like we have been programmed to like go. And so because you're going, you're not really present. And therefore, because you're not present, you're not acknowledging like the simplest things in life. And so because of COVID, I was really able to just be present with myself and really learn about what I need and what I don't need, and what is good for me and what is not good for me. And one of the things that I really learned is also the sun, because I now have an alarm clock that is a sunrise simulator. So it will light up my whole room so that I can be able to wake up and feel as good as when I used to during the summertime. Because during the summertime, I might have mentioned this before here, but during the summer or last year, I would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning with the sunrise. I would go outside with my yoga mat, meditate, journal, and do whatever my heart desired between 6 and 8, because I don't clock in until 8. And it was beautiful. It felt good. It energized me for the day. And then as winter came along, I started feeling how things were feeling different, and I wasn't waking up as early as I used to, and I didn't have the energy to wake up as early as I used to, and I just felt like I just wanted to stay in bed all day. Right. And so I can feel the mood shift in just the tiniest way because of something as small as the sun. And
or
so
big ass.
facts. And so it really, I felt that so much that for Christmas I ended up asking Santa for a sunrise simulator, and I did get it. So thank you, Santa. But it was necessary, and I felt it. And the thing is, I've lived in Boston and I've lived in the North for my whole entire life, and it didn't feel so potent as much as I'm feeling it now. But it also is, we are also in a space where we have had to slow down, and we have had time to really dissect all of the things that we usually just do because we need to do, but rather to do because you have the time and the space to breathe while you're doing it. And so, will I say that I have been diagnosed with seasonal depression? No. But did I notice the mood shift within my energy and within me through one of the reasons being lack of sun? Yes. And so that's why I have a sunrise simulator, and it helps a lot. And hopefully the actual sun will help as well, because then I'll be able to step outside and just actually take the vitamin D. So I'm excited. And just thinking about that made me just, as I mentioned, like COVID has allowed me to really has forced me to sit down with myself, because again, I'm the type of person that since high school, my family and I would wake up at 4:30 and get ready so that we can all be out of the house by 5:30, because all of us worked or went to school in Boston. And so we would drive during the still nighttime for us, drive to Boston, work, then do whatever it is, the busy schedule that we had to do, to then get back in the car and then all drive back. And I did that with my family, and with my family, I stayed working in Boston, and so I was doing the drive myself. And so even that, just driving and traffic and all that jazz, like, it's a lot. It's a toll on us. And I definitely noticed how much more I guess relaxed I was, because I didn't have to do the 2-hour traffic there and back. So that's 4 hours of my life that I have back, because I am working remotely. But it's been, yes, I don't have to do the back and track, like the back and forth, but because of that, COVID has also showed me that I like routine. I like routine, and I need routine, because since I've been working from home, I've had to force myself to say, okay, Eerees, you will not be staying in the same sweatpants that you have had for 3 days. And I have forced myself in a healthy way to say, like, okay, every time you get up, the first thing that I'm doing is putting on some earrings. And that's like my number one uniform for myself. It's okay, put on some earrings, and then from the earrings, if you feel like you want to do your hair, do something, put on a sweater. But basically, I've had to, like, yes, I'm working from home, but I'm putting on something, and I'm stepping away from my room to be able to work, because it has been difficult. It has been difficult, COVID-wise, working from home and having to work from home, socialize from home, having to just basically you're doing everything at home. So like there isn't any separation, which makes life so much weirder. And then it also takes laziness, because it's just like, well, I'm home, so
it's just more excuses.
Excuses. I like that. Excuses of like, oh, well, since I'm at home, I can just roll over, or do that meme of that 90 day fiance guy, like coming out of the bed with his like I don't know if you guys know that.
Nope.
But we'll put it on the screen. There's basically a meme of the 90 day fiance that ends up, he's like little and has a little.
Yes.
And then he's basically like, I guess, like confused, or it looks like his face is confused and he's trying to get out of bed, basically. And so it's just like, that's me at 8:05 knowing that I have a Zoom meeting at 8:15.
Right.
So like COVID wise, it's been difficult.
I think in terms of COVID, it's just a lot of things coming to play. I think that every little thing that we've had to change, or every massive thing that we've had to change, all like brings a different sort of thing in life. That's the meme, yeah.
Yes.
But it's like, you know, working from home. Like, for example, so they're trying to figure out when we can go back to work. So what it's looking like for me now, it's September 1st.
Oh.
Yeah, what's it looking like? We don't know. I don't even know if I even have to go back because they don't need me there. But
in person.
Yeah, they don't need me in person. Oh no, I'm important. So when we first talked about it, like my manager's asking our opinion about working from home, and you know, everyone else is saying how like, you know, it'd feel good to go back, like it does feel good seeing people. And I said the same thing, and I was like, but to be honest, we've been doing this the last few months with winter. So I've been home, can't go outside because it's cold, or I'd rather not be outside because it's cold.
Yeah.
So I'm just home all day, every single day. Mm-hmm. So I'm working and then shutting off the computer, and now I'm still home. I was like, I can't tell you I'm going to feel the same during the summertime. And I was like, I can't tell you that once summer comes around, I want to be commuting. Like, summer's here, turn off the laptop at 3:30. I still got hours of the sun. I probably don't want to be commuting. So I told him that. I was like, you know, for the winter, I can tell you I did miss being out and about, but that's because I was stuck inside. But I'm not going to guarantee I feel the same for when summer comes around. Because if I'm done working at 3:30, I just got to jump and get ready and be out and go do something fun, then I don't want to be commuting to work than to commute back. So he knows that. And I was just like, you know, just really thinking about it, like, being stuck at home with the winter and with COVID, like, it sucked. But summer's coming, and I don't need to be around a million people, but just knowing I can be around outside warm weather, I'd rather go out for a walk, something after work, than just be, you know, kind of stuck driving or anything like that.
Traffic.
And I think with COVID, it's just hard because, like, I feel exhausted. I really do. And I'm tired because it's like, I'm not commuting and all of that, so that's a plus. You know, I don't have to shovel out my car to go to work early in the morning. I had to wake up last week at like 5 a.m. to go to my mom's and work there. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I used to do this all the time. And I'm like, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. It was like mad cold. It was the one day like last week that it was 17 degrees in the morning. It's like, you've been nice all week, but this morning you
gotta be.
And I forgot to start my car, and I was just like, why did we do this before? So like that part of it, I'm like, I don't miss you, right? But like the other part of it is like, I do want to kind of be out and about, see people. So being home has sucked. So I'm feeling tired. I'm tired of looking at people on Zoom. I'm just tired of that.
You're just tired.
Zoom fatigue is going to be in the dictionary.
I think it already is.
Okay, because it's legit. And you know how I did like that podcasting workshop thingy? So this one guy that was also part of the workshop mentioned how there are going to be a lot of things that are going to be diagnosed that was never diagnosed before because we didn't live in that world.
Yeah.
But in this last year, the people that have been stuck at home, stuck on a computer, we're going to realize a lot of people are going to have things come up that we didn't know would affect us because we were never put in that position. And then also having to consider the kids that have never gone to school in person and started school online, or the kids of immigrants. Like my first language was Creole. It wasn't English.
Yeah.
I learned English in kindergarten. How would I do that through a computer screen? Yeah. So I just feel for the kids that like have the language barrier, have a parent at home that doesn't speak English, and now you're trying to figure out how to use the computer and learn another language through a computer when 24/7 at home, because you're stuck at home, you're only listening to Creole or whatever language that, you know, comes from home. Yeah, you watch TV and stuff, but like that's not the same.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm glad I had that experience to be in with kids and learn the language outside of it. So I just can't imagine the difficulties that come with that. And like just thinking about the parents that have to set up a computer that don't know how to do that.
Seriously.
Get Wi-Fi. It's just a lot of room for people to just struggle a lot. And I feel like that plays a big role in where we come from.
Yeah.
And the privileges that some people have that don't realize they have. That stepping back for me, if I was in kindergarten at this point in my life, I don't think I'd be logging onto a computer every day. I don't think my mom would have any clue. And she also works a lot. And she's an essential worker, been my whole life. So she'd be at work. What am I doing? What the old babysitter, 80-year-old woman gonna do with me in a laptop?
Yes.
So I'm just imagining now, like the kids going through that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's a lot. And I'm just more excited. One, kids are going back to school now. School ends in 2 months. I don't even get why that makes sense. But whatever, I ain't got no kids, so I can't talk. But on top of that, at least for me, it's like the weather's getting warmer. I've been hearing kids going outside and playing. I just really feel for the kids. Like adults, like we're struggling, we go through it, but imagine a child that just has no clue how to use their words to kind of explain what they're going through, or kind of understand that what they're going through is okay.
Yeah.
Because we're all going through dramatic changes. So like the kids being outside playing is amazing. You know, is it very COVID friendly in the whole pandemic? No. Have I behaved myself during COVID as well? I'm not gonna lie and say I have. So I'm just happy the warm weather's coming. I'm just happy that hopefully COVID ending is on the horizon. People are still acting out, even though it's still a pandemic out there. So I don't know how that's gonna work out.
Seriously.
Cause Miami, you seen them pictures?
Listen, all I'm gonna say is I saw the video of the girl out here just like
on the car. That got nothing to do with mad people and COVID, girl.
But still, like the fact that like
she was out
and about, like
fresh air. It's been hard. We've been inside.
but that's what I'm saying. Like who's to say that she was just like, you know, I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
Right.
I'm going out.
And she was like, this is how we going out. Like we're going on the roof of the car. We make sure we catch this breeze.
Like, because the thing is, you said it. Like, you were very open about I haven't been following the rules. There are some people that have been following the rules and are just like, you know what? I got the vaccine on.
All right, let me sit on this hood of the car and flex on them. You know, we had a lot of time to be inside. Homegirl probably been stretching, got mad flexible over time. Because I watched that video and I was like, wow.
She wasn't scared.
See me? I could not. But you know, everybody needs fresh air.
Yes.
So.
Yes, and yes. But I will also say that, like, I definitely feel for kids in the sense because as a daughter of a daycare provider, my mother is very big on the development of a child when they're so young is crucial, and they need to go through certain steps to really fully develop in the best way possible for their just cognitive motor skills and everything else. And one of the things that I will never forget that my mother told one of her parents, and till this day I tell all of my friends, is I got hair on me and it's not going out and it's not cute. That's not what she said. Sorry. That is not what my mom
wasn't cute out of the whole situation.
It's not what so I had something in my mouth and it just wasn't going away. Sorry. But point is, what my mother would say is that children need other children, and it's important for them to be around other children, around the other children their specific age, and it's crucial for them. And then I saw a meme, not a meme, but a video on Twitter where this mom takes her little girl out to the playground, and the little girl's looking at like the kids like, what the fuck is this? Because it's just like she was born during COVID, and so like her interacting with other kids is not something normal that she's done. And it's like kids need that, and kids, like, it's important for their development and for everything that's going on internally for them to be bonding with kids their own age and specifically and doing all that jazz. And unfortunately, we have not been in a space where we've been really able to do that.
Yeah.
So just thinking about like what you said with, you know, the barriers within immigrant kids, but then also just the barriers that have been given because of COVID that might affect you, like your motor skills, your cognitive skills, all of that. It's just like, this is a lot. It's a lot.
And honestly, like, I feel like with COVID, it's interesting. So I catch myself, and I know I'm not the only one. I'll watch a show, and like a crowd will be on the show, and I'll be instantly triggered. Like I'll instantly be like,
"Why don't you have your mask?"
And then I'd be like, "Oh yeah, life wasn't like this before." But it happens all the time. Like there'll be a group of people, and they'll be like turning up, no mask, and I just be like, "Oh my goodness,
what are you doing?"
And then be like, "Oh yeah, we used to do that." But every once in a while, it just hit me instinctively, and it just like, it's not something I think about. It just happens, and I'm just like, "Oh wow, like how much our minds change so quickly in a year." I'm automatically triggered to be like, this is not normal.
Yeah.
Like this is not okay right now.
Yeah.
And be like, oh wow, we actually live like this at one point. So imagine being a kid that didn't even do these things, and now when the world opens up, it's probably gonna be like,
why are you touching me? Why isn't
in
there
the
hand
first place, don't be touching me anyways. But like, you know, just that interaction. I just thinking about like the world before, you know, people.
We were nasty. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we were nasty.
Like, I'm trying to think of like,
just thinking about. So I saw this video on TikTok. I do not have TikTok, but thankfully my friends all do, so they send me videos. And there was this guy that he basically takes swabs of things, and then he puts it in a
dish.
And then he like blows it up and shows you all of the shit that happens and goes down, and he leaves it there for like a specific amount of days or weeks, and then you see the disgustingness continue to grow from the little swab that he took. And so just thinking about, like, we all go to the grocery store, we all get out of our car and open our door, and then from opening our door we grab a cart and we go and do all of that stuff. We did not clean that at all, and we still probably don't clean it as much as we should be cleaning
I
it.
got sanitizer in my car.
But just thinking about that, like,
Yeah.
just that simple thing, that was not a routine that we created at all. We began to create the routine of washing your hands for more than 30 seconds.
I used to work with some people. There was just one girl I work with, girl. I went to the bathroom one day. Went in the mirror, was washing my hands. Homegirl came out the stall and left. And I'm washing my hands. I'm just like,
You did not do anything.
and I mean, she flushed the toilet, so I hope she used her foot and not her hand.
I doubt it. If she walked out the door, she
But
definitely
she
used
had
her
to
hand.
like unlock the latch. So whatever, she left. So one day we had a meeting, and I had to be me and have an extra pen. And she asked to borrow a pen, and I instinctively, as a nice person I am, offered it.
And you were like, don't give that
And
shit
then
back.
after she used it, I had her place it on my notebook. Like, I didn't say why, but like, she was like, oh, I'm all set. I was like, oh, you can put it on my notebook. I literally carried the bottom of my notebook like this, went to the table, looked for sanitizing wipes, and cleaned everything. Because I'm like, she doesn't wash her hands. And she trained me, so like, just thinking back to that, I hope she washes her hands now. I really do. She was a grown woman too. But I did an experiment when I was in 7th or 8th grade, 7th grade, because I love that science teacher. So she brought in a bunch of Petri dishes for us, and like those long Q-tips, and had us all in groups, like groups of 2, pick something to swab and put on our Petri dish. So me and my partner, we went to the keyboard. And we swabbed the keyboard. And out of everyone's, like, everyone had weird things growing, but ours was fuzzy.
That fungus was.
Ours was, so like, ours was one of the one that was like, like obviously this is like a lot going on. Like there was fuzz over here, something else over here,
different colors.
Like even people that went to the bathroom and like wiped like certain things they wiped stupid shit, like the windowsill. Who's touching the windowsill? This is just a bunch of dust, whatever. And you know, you can't, not everybody's smartest in the bunch, but you know, they had to learn. Anywho, so they did the windowsill, whatever that was. So they grew a little something. I'm just assuming it was dust or like, you know, we'd be shedding. That should be in the air. Even that. Anywho, so yeah, I did the keyboard. And since then, you know, back then we were barely on computers, but we had them in class at that point. And I'm just like, since then, I've been very like sensitive about keyboards. My phone is something that I'm always like wiping down, just because it be just on your face. Remote controls, like when I go to my sister's house, my niece and nephews, like, you know, those children don't wash their hands. They be eating on the remote. So like that's something I've learned to always sanitize over time. But like, yeah, girl, the world's nasty out here. And then like even now going to work, like I work retail sometimes, I'll just be like slow your roll. Like, I don't know what you be doing on your free time.
I don't know what you be doing on your free time.
And I heard like now at the malls they're allowing people to eat there because they weren't allowing anyone, even though they would still eat there. Like people would go to the hallway of Cheesecake Factory and be grubbing in there from the food court. Because I get it, people want to eat, people need to eat, but yeah, girl, things are opening up and I'm interested to see.
Well, speaking on opening up, and I will say a laughing joke that I have with Daphne is that she does a beautiful job of working out.
It's been a month, but I was at one point.
And so the laughing joke is that I will buy a membership
at my gym. So I'll tell you the timeline, right? So this new gym is opening in Brockton, and before it's opening, I'm intrigued. I'm looking it up. So me and my friend that always go and work out, we're like, you know, we're gonna transition there. Like so like before it even opens, we sign up already, you know, just to be like, we're gonna be one of the first ones because it's like it's a discount if you're one of the first ones. I let Iris know. I was like, they got cycling, Iris. You be on your bike. You love your calves. I was like, come the time gym opens and winter comes, you can still work on those calves. Because I remember that time you took a trip on your bike for 2 seconds. Homegirl came back done. Like you were out of breath. And I was like, girl, where did you go? Like you just left. So I was like, you know, you can keep up with it, you know? And she's like, yeah. And through time, it's probably like been 3 or 4 different instances where she's like, you know, maybe I should sign up. And now last weekend, one of our friends,
Mocha Wellness,
she is a yoga instructor, and now she's gonna host some classes there, and Iris wanna be like, oh, I have another incentive to sign up. Girl, how many more incentives do you need? But yeah, go off. I'll see you when I see you.
And I can't complain because I'm doing this to myself.
I mean, you good, girl. When you want to show up, you can show up.
But I definitely keep talking about needing to, you know, hit the membership or go to the gym because quarantine gains is real.
Quarantine thickness.
Yes. We definitely had a pre-conversation where it's like, nah, don't pay attention to quarantine gains, but quarantine thick, loveness, you know? Yes.
I've been thick, but you know, extra fluffy because of quarantine.
But like the truth is, because we're in quarantine, and because we're in COVID, I am no longer leaving the house to go to work. And one of the biggest things is I didn't work out, but I would be intentional about, okay, if I'm going to the grocery store, I'm not going to park so close. If I work in a space that has, shut the fuck up. Someone's laughing at me. So if I work in a building, I'm probably gonna take the stairs. I'm not gonna do the elevator. Elevator, yes. So like, and
You
even
don't even remember what one of those
Girl,
are. That's how
I was
how
like, wait,
cooped
what
up
is
we've
this?
been.
But like, it's the simplest things, but it's more of like, okay, I know I don't work out as much as I should, so therefore I will be intentional about the little things. And so I haven't been able to be intentional about the little things, nor have I been going to the gym. So it's just like, damn, Iris, you really ain't doing shit. And so because I've been home and my commute is from the living room to my bed and then back, like, I'm not working out, I'm not moving enough, I'm not doing those things that I used to do to at least be able to continue to moderate my body. And so quarantine gains is real for me.
I mean, I feel that. I definitely feel it. I think that even now, like how I cut off the sugar and I'm still doing it, intermittent fasting and everything, and I'm just like stuck where I'm at. Like I lost about almost 20 pounds, and people can never notice because my body's proportionate, I'm tall, so I dropped 20 pounds, and the first place you'll see is my cheeks and my face, on my face. Because the other cheeks, they just be staying. You didn't have to do all that. That, you know, got it from my mama. But for me, it's like we got to be easy on ourselves in a sense too. Like I'm at this point, it's been like a year, so we have to kind of watch how we eat because we are still kind of stuck inside. We're not moving as much as we were before, but also being fair to ourselves to know like a lot is going on, so like we can only take on so much.
Yeah.
And once we can be out and about again, I'm pretty sure our bodies will like drop.
They'll be like,
we've been so stoic, so many of us, we've been so like, you know, doing less, that like it's gonna be natural, like the way we're gonna lose weight and how it's gonna drop. It's just we have to be patient with ourselves. And like me, I know that like the biggest part of me losing weight, and like the first time I lost a lot of weight, was all food. I didn't work out at all, but I just controlled my food. It just cut out a lot of bad things because I love chocolate cake. Like I love like pastries. I love dessert.
I do too.
I love ice cream.
I do too.
It's like I had a dream last week. The dream about like the ice cream on bread. Like,
yes.
Like
she was eating sliced bread
with
and
ice cream. That was in my dream. Like I dreamt it, and I was like, I woke up and I was like, one, I'm so happy that was a dream, and two, wow, my body is really going through it right now. But like everyone loves bread. I love bread, but like that's fine. Like I'm not going crazy for that. But like the chocolate cake and like things like that,
sweets.
Oh, girl, I love them. Every excuse to get ice cream. Like at Chick-fil-A, I'd get the vanilla ice cream and throw in a couple of fries. Like I love it, but I know that I can't be doing those things even when we're outside and we're being out and about, just because my body just, we've been retaining all that bad stuff. And, I'm trying to live long. And if I'm living long, I really just want to be living well. I really don't want to be like feeling pain. And like at that point, then I don't need to be living if I'm like barely walking. And I can't, and I just want to be able to take care of that now, because it's really going to affect me in the long run. And I'm hitting 30 in a few months. And, it was downhill at 25 and it's not going up from here. So I have to really take care of myself. So, like, it's really being patient because we are in COVID, and really knowing that once things open up again, like, and we're going to be on our feet, we're going to be moving, we're going to shed it. It sucks. It does. Wow, I got to the point I was not fitting my clothes, and I was like, I can gain, like, from my lowest that I was before COVID, I could gain like 25 pounds and my clothes would still fit fine. Oh. I hit a point where they were not fitting fine, and I was like, okay, we can't do this. Like, that whole I'm gonna lose this later thing is really not working anymore. So I had to start it, and like, I've lost some weight. I'm kind of stuck. I'm gonna go back to the gym, but I needed to control the food first, because when I was at the gym, everything was getting right and tight, but I started making excuses for the food. I'm working out.
I can have this chocolate.
Slice that's 300 calories, that's only this when I do this at the gym. Like, leg days, I be going hard. It gotta be at least 900 calories. You know what I mean? That I'm burning. So, like, those excuses were coming up, and I was just wanting these sugary things. So now that they've kind of cleansed out of my system and I'm not craving them, even though my dreams say otherwise, I can go back now and hopefully keep the food in check. And then if I lose this weight, y'all ain't gonna see me. Or y'all gonna see me.
You said something, I think the last episode, you were like, I'm trying to break hearts without even, I don't remember it, but it was so good that you said,
I don't know.
You said something, something along the lines of like, you know, I'm not even gonna try. I'm just gonna exist, and I'm gonna be breaking hearts. And I'm just like,
sounds about right.
But
I just want to be comfortable. That's it.
Yes.
And not feeling frumpy.
Yes.
I feel frumpy sometimes.
What is frumpy?
How I feel.
Okay, yeah, that makes so much sense.
Just like a blob. Like, okay.
But yes, I definitely, and I'll say this, like, I will be very transparent and say, when I say quarantine gains, I don't hate myself.
Yeah.
Like, I've definitely grown up in a lifestyle where I've never, even when I knew I gained weight, or even when I knew I wasn't the regular size that I was, because like I just go by the size that I'm around. So even if I know that I'm not that size, it's not that I hate myself. I'm just more aware that this isn't the usual that I am. But that doesn't mean that like I'm gonna stop. Like, for example, let's say I'm out and about and I'm on a date, and then the date goes beautiful, and you know, we get a little nightcap.
We're gonna get to home base.
Exactly.
Like, we're gonna make it all the way home.
Exactly. Like, that's not gonna stop me. Like, me gaining weight is not gonna stop me from enjoying that night, nor from feeling insecure about how I look. Because at the end of the day, like, it's gains, but like
at the end of the day, it's still on and popping.
So it's like, I don't want to, like, I talk about quarantine gains as so like, damn, but it's more
happening, yeah.
But it's more of like just acknowledging that like it's something different. So it's a gain that I didn't have before, but it doesn't stop me from loving myself, because I will bring my fupa out and do what it needs to do and have fun regardless. Because ask me if I've been to the gym.
Ask me if she's been to the gym. You don't even have to ask you. Ask me if she's been to the gym.
And ask me if I'll be at the gym between now and the time that I have to go on vacation soon.
No. You can go biking around the corner or something.
Yes. But it's just more of like the awareness that the size that I was, I am no longer at.
Man, Daphne summer 2019 was a bombshell. I'm gonna tell you. I just like had this glow up all of a sudden, dropped this weight, got this new job and was still like dropping weight without even trying. Yeah. And I was like flourishing.
You and still are, by the way.
Thank you. But like I said I would never get back to a specific weight, and I did. And I'm not trying to be hard on myself about it, but I do have my days that I'm just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I love myself, I do. I mean, I do. But like, it was the clothes thing. Like, I love my clothes too much.
to let them go.
I have too many clothes to not fit into. Like, we can't do that. And I'm ordering clothes and stuff because, you know, I love clothes, and I'm just like, I need you to fit me right and do right by me, because you know what I mean? It's been a long year and I'm trying to be cute and comfortable. So quarantine gains has been real, but it is what it is. Like, we'll get out of it, and we still love ourselves. Yes. And it's still on and popping regardless.
What is that millennial shoulder thing?
That's what you pop in your shoulders?
You know? Because it's still popping.
And we're drinking our can't do nothing. No. Nothing.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, I'm gonna be awkward intentionally.
Usually what I do is I do a laugh that goes, but it didn't come out.
No, it came out exactly how it's supposed to. And making our way from talking about seasonal depression and needing our vitamin D, and then, you know, working through COVID and quarantine gains and still having things being on and popping and still getting our vitamin D. We make our way over to kind of the transition out or transition through COVID. I can't say out because I don't know where the end is, but vaccines, I'm not gonna get too into it because to each their own opinion. I honestly just do your research. I would say get your vaccine. I've gotten every other vaccine, so for me it's like I didn't question it. We, especially people of color, especially Black people, have our reasons to be skeptical. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, just do it through everything we've been through. Like, we know the history, we know the stories, but we just also have to do our research and do our part to take care of ourselves now, and not let certain things get in our way and hold us back. Because I feel like a lot of that is intentional. That lack of education is intentional to keep us always behind.
Yes.
So I just want us to do our research and do what's comfortable for us. I got the Moderna vaccine in December because where I work, we're one of the 3 places that could house the vaccine when it first started coming out. So I got the first one, you know, all official and ish. Still working from home. But I got it at the end of December, first dose, cool, chilling, sat in the room, 15 minutes, I'm good, we out. My arm was a little sore, but it is what it is. Then January, I got the second one, so it's like 28 days in between. Sat there 15 minutes, was chilling, got home. I was like, I'm good, Gucci, like, no, nothing. It was funny because before the lady gave me the second vaccine, she was like, could you be pregnant? And I've never said no so confidently in my life. And then I looked at her and I was like, I'm sorry. I said that with so much excitement, and she started laughing. And I was like, I didn't intend it to be that way, but no, I am not pregnant. And she was like, okay, we just asked because we want to see how people are reacting to it. I'm like, all right, I am pregnant. So go through that, go home, and like 4 hours goes by and I start feeling weird, and I'm like, this is all in my head, like, so start feeling weird, start feeling just tired. I'm like, all right, we got this. Like, out of nowhere, my temperature went up, I got chills. I mean, in like a matter of 8 hours, like I got every possible symptom I can.
Every and all.
Yeah, and then like couldn't sleep, so I couldn't sleep it off. So then like got the chills, got the quick fever, couldn't sleep, and then the next morning when all of that went away, I just got a massive headache. So I hit up my manager and I was like, I can absolutely not work today. And I just spent the rest of that day just being tired. Like everything else passed, but I was just so exhausted from going through everything. I ordered me some like double chocolate chip pancakes.
That sounds delicious.
And all this, I hadn't had a milkshake in like forever, and I ordered me a milkshake. Like I was like, I'm going to indulge in all the worst things because I already feel bad. So if they'll make me feel better for the 5 minutes, fine. But it happened so quickly that if I should take it again, if I was supposed to take it again, I would.
Okay.
It happened so quickly. And honestly, for what it's supposed to do, and I know I went to Miami at one point and they're acting like COVID don't exist. And I came back, tested negative. So I'm like, you know, vaccine is doing what it gotta do. So far, that's what it looks like.
Okay.
But that's only me just saying my experience with it. I have it. I got both doses. More and more people are getting it. My mom is wishy-washy on getting it. I don't really know how to convince her. She just don't want someone from the city to do it because, you know, you can sign up through the city. And I'm trying to explain to her it's a nurse that's going to administer. Not a city official. Not a regular person at the Shaw Center. Like, it's going to be an actual, like, health professional.
Yes.
And she's like, I just rather call my doctor. And I'm like, you know, just do you. Because, like, I told her, I was like, it's not going to be some rando. Like, I'm not giving out shots. Like, I'm not qualified for that. You know, and she'll probably trust me too. And I don't think she should. But, like, but, I mean, more and more people are getting it. It's opening up for more people. So, I mean, that's all my gist on the vaccine. I got it. I got the Moderna.
Yeah. I will definitely say that I am one of those conspiracy theorists, and I do not have and have never had the flu shot. But at the same time, I'm also very mindful that, like, a lot of us don't have a lot of the diseases that many people died from before because of that vaccines, because like, yes, I have not taken the flu shot, but I've taken all the other vaccines. So like, I definitely understand the necessity for that. I'm just mindful that a vaccine takes more than a year for it to get made, do all the things that it needs to do, but then also for us to get tested, because like right now we're all being test dummies. At the end of the day, we're all being test dummies. We don't actually know if this is working.
I'll poke some holes in a second.
So
Go ahead.
so we don't actually, so like this is also me speaking with lack of knowledge. So like this is just me also just speaking on my ass.
Right.
Very, very, very transparent.
Literally.
And so it's just more of like, how long does it take for a vaccine to get done, but then also to fully get tested for us to know that it actually is going to work? And so it needs to get tested, and we need to try it on other people. And we have had many historical horrible things that have happened. Absolutely. Where we are the test dummies, where class and poverty are the test dummies that get worked on, exhibited, poked on, and figured out to make sure that let's see if this actually works. Mm-hmm. And so that, I'm just mindful of that. I'm probably gonna take the vaccine, but I'm just more saying it in the sense of like, I'm also very aware of the holes that we have in life. And so I'm mindful that how truthful are you being to us? How truthful are you being to us? How helpful is this truly being? And or because like I think Johnson & Johnson just came out with one that's like 1 dose. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately Johnson & Johnson is not a great company, and they're very known for the horrible shit that they've done and the horrible things that have like really hurt people. But they are a huge company that can put thousands and thousands of dollars behind the messed up things that they do to cover up what they've done. And so it's more of like, at the end of the day, we are all living in a space where money is the huge factor that moves us. And if you are the person that is giving out the vaccine, regardless if it's free for us or not, someone is paying for that, and they are collecting money for that. So just being mindful of what is their intention behind it. Most often than not, it's money. So like at the end of the day, if there is a 85% chance that like you might in the next 20 years gain cancerous like shenanigans in you because you took the vaccine, they're gonna say that, but they're gonna say that in the very tiny small print where you don't fully know, but you know because we gave you the information, you just weren't fully aware.
All right, because you hold up and real hard, so I'm gonna interject. I just feel like, one, it does feel like we're test dummies, but by the time the first 2 vaccines did rolled out, there were more than 40,000 people that got them, and they were watching them. The issue with that I will agree, is that we were still living in COVID time, so we still had to be masked up, we still had to quarantine, we still had to do that. So how viable is this vaccine in terms of, I get the vaccine, maybe I can't get it, but can I give someone COVID if I have it? So that's been something that's been up in the air and people don't know, right? Another thing is, I don't compare this vaccine to the flu vaccine, to the flu shot, because the flu shot is something we get every year, right?
Yeah.
I first got it for the first time 2 years ago when I started this job, first time I ever got it. I compare it to the other vaccines we've gotten through our lives that we couldn't go to school if we didn't take them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how I compare it. And we think, okay, COVID vaccine has been developed in less than a year or in a year, but we don't know how long it took for them to do the varicella one, so the chickenpox one, and all the other ones that came out with. But you also have to take in consideration the time that we're living in right now. There are different types of technologies out now that read different parts of these diseases. There have been it's been known, not to us, but to the government, that it's very possible to have something like this happen.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Obama, before he left, had a whole office set up for this that was shut down when Trump went into office, correct? So it's been very much known, and there's a documentary on Netflix that kind of explains a lot of how the world watches for different diseases coming up. I mean, we've had swine flu, we've had so those are all different versions that have come from animals to people that have caused that. We just have never had it at a massive stage, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. It's only been a year, but we have machines that read through these, machines that have known certain parts of these diseases that kind of like, now we have COVID, we have people with COVID, let's take samples, let's see, and like read through these machines. So it took time, and I think it took rather long, to be honest, because these machines are reading what this has, but they're trying to figure out, how do we break down this virus so it can completely die?
Yeah.
So explaining the whole anatomy of this virus, I can't to you, but I know it's something that they had to learn to break down, whatnot. So I went into, it does seem like we're test dummies, but they tried on a few people at first. But it's one of those things that's like, I can say with the Moderna vaccine, the CDC, like, you can sign up for this thing called VSafe, and they text you every day when you first get it, and then they text you every week after that. So since I got my first vaccine, they've been texting me every week, and then once I click the link, it just says like, what are your symptoms, are you feeling anything? So they're keeping track, they want to see what's going on. So yes, it might feel like we are test dummies, but we've taken so for me it's like we've taken every other vaccine. So for me to be like, I'm not doing this one. Again, we also have the history of this vaccines being used against people to do other things, to do bad, especially people of color, right? But if you look at how the vaccine's being passed out now, predominantly white people are the ones actually getting it. So access.
Yes.
So in terms of access, a lot more white people are. That even when I was listening to a podcast that's based out of New York, people that are from the suburbs of New York were going to the urban cities and taking up all the scheduled slots for the vaccine. So in terms of access and knowledge and like resources to get the vaccine, it's been geared towards more of white people or people that are privileged, right? So in that sense, I'm like, why would America have the test dummies be the white people first? You know what I mean? I feel like, why would that be the choice now? Like, why would the access be so convenient for them? And it's like, oh, they're still trying to figure out how to make sure everyone can get this vaccine. It's bullshit. Because if they really wanted everyone to have access, they would have had ways set up to give everyone access. Like, we're in a city that probably has in the state of Massachusetts, that probably has an abundant amount of essential workers, more than probably other parts of the state, right? But I have no clue where the points are in the city to go get a vaccine, if not just like CVS now. And I think they were trying to set up Shaw Center, and I don't even know if that started, but then like in Worcester, they're opening up spaces. So like they're starting to open up these massive spaces to make it more convenient, but they weren't there from when this all started out. I mean, I got it because I work at a hospital. So, you know, like the convenience for certain people in those positions, the privilege to get the shot, I feel like if the first people who can be the people in the hospital, the people that have been on the front line kind of combating COVID, kind of, for me, kind of goes against the idea of them testing on people. In 20 years from now, can I have cancer from this? I don't know. But also eating red meat and pork and all these things can lead to that. Eating McDonald's that's advertised every day, we know that it's known to cause people to gain weight. It's known for people to have heart disease, high blood pressure, and die from things like that. We consume foods with pesticides. We don't buy organic, not all of us. We're consuming vegetables filled with pesticides, and we don't question it. So like, I get it. This vaccine is new. COVID is completely new. So we're living in this world that's like, different. Now this vaccine comes about, supposed to save the world. I get it, but we also eat all this bullshit all the time. We're driving in these cars behind, I'm not saying you, I'm saying in general, in terms of that point, but like, we drive behind all these vehicles, like the pollution that's always in the air. Like, we're in so many instances set up to
kill us,
die regardless. I mean, the one thing that's for certain is we're gonna die. But to be in positions to have cancer and things like that, we do everything else that like that point for the vaccine. It's like, if in 20 years I'm getting cancer from the vaccine, in 20 years I can be getting cancer from radiation from the microwave, you know? So that's how I feel about that. But again, to each their own. If you want to take it, take it. If you don't, don't. But for me, it's like just the first things first. Really do your research and be educated, because I just don't want that idea of like, I don't really know what's going on, or I don't know the backstory, but I'm not going to do it because of all these things. And it's like, well, I just hope you're educating yourself, because if this does make a difference for us in the long run, like, I don't want, especially people of color, to lose out on that, because we've have these traumas, we have these things that have been set up against us to be used as, you know, test monkeys. So in this point that it can be something to help us, all of a sudden this news is coming back about all these vaccines that have done us dirty. But then white people are lining up to get this, and we're in the end, you know what I mean? So I just don't want this to be the narrative for us. And we're like, now we're aware and we know, and we have our third eye going, and we get everything. But then now we're not getting it, and we're still staying behind. Like, I just don't want that to happen to us, because I feel like any way that something comes about to do better for us, can't say I know that 100% this will do better for us. But for example, if it is, for us to not do it because, you know, all the information that's on the internet saying the last vaccines did this to us, and we can have cancer in 20 years, and all the white people chilling, getting the vaccines, taking pictures, celebrating, living life. And we're still here dying. I mean, more than 500,000 people dying in this country is not something that's light. No. You know what I mean? So it's like, 500,000 people dying. I don't know anybody that died. I feel like is not cool to even think of, you know what I mean? I feel like the whole situation itself is sad. There's so many people that have lost so many people that we really got to educate ourselves on our part. And again, lack of resources is big for people in our environments, you know what I mean? So I can't say go and find the information, because it's not easily out there or easily clear. But I also don't want us to be held back and put in a worse position because all this information we're fed online. It happens to every election. It happens to everything that goes on. I mean, even with like the election for Trump, a lot of like the articles on Facebook, we found out they were bought by Russia. And I saw some of the ads, and they were really set up to make you think otherwise. And you're thinking this is bought by the other political party or whatever, and you're really believing it. I mean, thinking of someone like my mom that is on social media but has no clue how half of it works, sees these things and believes these things, and then doesn't do the research, but now I know. You know what I mean?
Because
Facebook
I saw
told
that
me,
video.
now I know, and now you're holding yourself back maybe from something that can help you. And you don't know if that what you saw on Facebook was not put up there by a racist whatever, you know?
Yeah, doing it on purpose.
Doing it on purpose so you don't get it, you know?
Yeah.
So like a lot of things come into play with this that I just don't want, especially people from our environment, especially Black people, to be like, I'm not doing this because I saw this on Facebook, on social media, and this has happened in the past. I'm just saying, do your research. If you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to do it, right? But just really look into it for yourself, and then don't just jump the gun because you saw one, like the articles that were like, oh, one person has died from the COVID vaccine in whatever city. 500,000 people have died from COVID in the United States, but one person died. Someone shared it, was like, see, I knew someone would die. No shit, Sherlock, someone's gonna be allergic, but 500,000 people have died from COVID. Like, we're gonna compare the one death we just found out about to 500,000 people that have died and are continuously dying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we need to help ourselves in a sense too. But you know, don't attack me on this. I'm just saying.
Don't attack me, and she
I don't
just
want
went
nobody.
on a tool hunt.
I just don't want nobody coming at me. I'm just saying. I just don't want us to fall behind and lose out on doing better for ourselves. Is the answer the vaccine? I don't know, but I'm just saying for ourselves, just do our best to educate ourselves and make the right decisions for ourselves. That's all I got for that.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
I don't know, I said a lot. I don't even remember half of what I said, but
it was necessary. It was clear. It was very much like you weren't forcing anybody to do anything. You were allowing them.
I can't force nobody to do nothing. Someone gonna sue me if I did.
but in the sense that you made your case and you made it well.
Right. And again, with you, if you don't want to do it and you decide you don't want to, there's no judgments on my part. Like, the decision for me to get my vaccine was literally my decision. You know, and that's how I felt about it. If other people don't, I cannot say anything to you. There are other people out there that are more qualified to tell you you should. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to tell you and be like, girl, I ain't messing with you. No, I don't. It's your decision. But I'm just saying, when it comes to helping ourselves, we got to make sure we're really helping ourselves, and what the best thing for us is.
No, yeah, that definitely. I know that a lot of congressmen and politicians. No, that's true.
Or any of them
have been speaking on the topic of that the vaccine is open to many people of color, but a lot of people of color are not taking advantage of it. And then crowds of just people showing, you know, the people that are in those lines to get the vaccine. It's mostly white people, and it's just like, where are the people of color? And so, like, yes, I definitely have been hearing both rhetorics of the yes, do the vaccine, no, do the vaccine, and then all the in betweens.
Right.
So I definitely hear you. And
do you, girl? No judgment.
And so the most important thing is, hopefully with the vaccine and or with COVID opening or hopefully dwindling, hopefully, if all goes well, means that things are opening up and events are opening up and festivities are opening up. And so
we got a lot of them planned, girl.
And so, you know, I'm super excited because I know that you have two weddings to go to. So like, people are still, you know, not allowing COVID to stop them from loving.
I mean, even last year when it was like the highest points of it, people were still getting married.
Yeah.
And I think even with the weddings coming up, there are still going to be restrictions depending. So I guess the wedding part is like, it is what it is. We're going to see what happens. The festivities still going on. We're still living. We still got to live. We really do.
We got to thrive.
We just got to be really healthy with it in some sort of way. And I mean, honestly, we just figuring out this shit called life. We just on a rock in the universe paying bills.
That's the newest thing that I've been seeing around everywhere.
Just paying bills on a rock. And then just being like, you know, we here, but
like, why?
But the thing is, we have a whole festival to go to in Portugal. See, and you just ready. You're ready.
Without the vaccine yet.
I hope you can get on that plane.
Guys, don't listen to me.
Don't listen to me either. We got a whole festival to go to in Portugal. You got any comments on that?
I know that we decided to get the tickets for Afro Nation during COVID.
Because we didn't think COVID would last this long.
Yeah, we really didn't.
You see half of the tweets people are retweeting that they posted a year ago. Well, everyone's just like, I'm sorry I was thinking this way. Because everyone was just saying, oh, it's only going to be a few weeks.
Yeah.
And they're like, damn, I was so stupid a year ago. Yeah, we all were.
We still are sometimes. But yes, we bought the tickets during COVID, and I'm still hopeful.
I mean, the festival is so hopeful. People in the comments like, just refund us already. And they're like, no, it's popping out here. President of, Portugal says things are still going to be on and popping. And everyone's in the comments like, but I want a refund
now.
And they're like, but the president said it's going to open. And we're just sitting here like, whatever happens. I checked flights. And it was like $300 and something.
I saw, oh my gosh. And I was just like, wait a second, this is not bad.
That's amazing. So I just looked it up and I was like, hold on.
But yes, we are, I'm excited. I know that COVID is happening, and I'm hopeful that we will be in a better place in a few months from now, because we have weddings to attend, we have festivals to go to, and I want to be able to go to them.
Are you gonna wear a mask at the festival?
Most probably yes, and I'll make it look cute.
I'm conflicted. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I think I need to. But at the same time, I'm like, let's see what the world is looking like. But like doing all this
with the mask.
But then it's like, do I even want to be near other people now? Like, am I like,
still?
Are we gonna have like our own little like pod of people and just be turning up? Like, are we gonna be, I'm not mingling. I honestly don't care to mingle with other people.
And that's another thing. Like, I would like us to go back to how we were before, and I know that we're not going to fully go back to it, because I am the type of person that, like, if I'm gonna go into a new town, I want to explore that antique shop, I want to explore that coffee shop, and, like, you know, bump into someone and have a conversation, a random conversation about God knows what, and I'll probably not remember about it, but it was a beautiful moment. So, like, I like to explore it, and I like to get to know people.
Right.
And COVID has not allowed me.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have that issue. I could care less. I'd be like, all right, cool. But I know that's me, and I know a lot of people are going to want to be out there. And honestly, I'm saying that now, but I've been stuck in COVID. Maybe I want to talk to people. Maybe I'd be like, you know what? You're wearing yellow, I'm wearing yellow. Like, let's have a conversation. We must have things common. Like, I can't say, like, I'm not going to feel like I want to talk to people, because I get it. So I'm very, very interested to see how this plays out.
Yes.
I am. I am so interested. I'm like, because I want to know how we're going to act.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to be around a lot of people, because the thing is, like, almost sold out. And then how are we going to be?
Yeah. This shall be interesting.
You know, we'll let you guys know how that goes. But, you know, we're still going to be having fun in the sun. And even if we're in our little pod, we're going to be turning up to Burna Boy, to Meg Thee Stallion,
to Mayra
Andrade, to Nelson Freitas, to Matt.
Listen, I want to just dance passada. I want to dance some, like, I just want to dance. I want to dance, and I want to dance in the ways that, like, I just get lost and then just like, just let the music go. I haven't been able to do that in so long.
Yeah, I think that's something we will be able to do, though. So I'm excited for that part, and just being able to, like, have fun, jump around, and just dance about. I just really want to see the human interaction part of it. I'm really intrigued. I am. I just really want to see how people acting. I know people are going to be like, there's going to be two sides of it. The people are going to be like, keep your distance. And the people are going to be like, let's all hug each other because it's been so long. And see, that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to do the same thing. Like,
I don't know if I want that.
I know I don't want that. But what else do you have coming up? Or, like, you know, in terms of post-COVID being on the horizon, anything you're looking forward to?
Other than my trip in April, Afro Nation, wedding, and vacation with my pod. So one thing that I've done with my family, which was really neat, and I got to know this family, is that my family, 3 different families came together during COVID, and we're like, okay, we can't not hang out. And so this pod of group decided that, like, we are going to become this pod, and we're only going to hang out with us. And so when it's time to get drunk, one of us is going to choose whose house it is, and, like, we are the pod that hangs out. And so literally I
met the pod, right?
Yeah.
I was the exception.
Because you didn't stay. We were, like, stepping away. So
to
basically,
go to another event we should have never been going to.
But I was very careful because I always got myself checked. So point is, we would stay within the pod, and basically we got to know these 3 families a lot more, because since it was us hanging out, we got to know each of the family members, and we got to know their family within. And I kid you not, every single Saturday we had something to do, because it was just like, okay, whose house is it now? And so we literally bounce off from each other's houses. Okay, you're coming to my house on this Saturday, we're going to this person's house on Saturday. And, like, we spent Halloween together, we spent we did every holiday together, and every Saturday we were at somebody's house, and it was just beautiful. So now we're going to, with that pod, go on vacation, and so it's gonna be,
that should be lit.
I know,
They're a fun crowd. They be trying to make you take shots. They made me take 2.
they have this thing called the chocha shots.
Interesting.
So basically,
would you like to translate that? We don't have to.
We don't have to. But point is, we have this shot. So like, you know, that's the crowd that.
Yeah, we know.
But it's fun. I love them.
They were fun, so that's exciting. And I guess we've said a lot through this whole episode.
Seriously.
So it's been fun. I actually really enjoyed myself, and I went on a little bit of a rant, but you know, I do that sometimes. So, any final thoughts on Conversations from the Soul? I'll say we just living. That's all I got.
Yes.
Trying.
Yes. Listen to yourself.
Educate yourself.
Yes. Listen to yourself. Educate yourself.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. Love yourself.
Because it still gets on and popping.
And
enjoy the vitamin D.
And enjoy yourself. But I think that's it. You know, take care of you. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, where.
Yeah.
And then from Conversation from the Soul, we move on to Stepping Into You.
Yes.
What are we stepping into?
We are stepping into, how are you listening to yourself? How are you listening to your body? How are you educating yourself in all the ways that you feel that you need to be educating yourself? Because Daphne did a beautiful
we'll rewatch and make
spiel,
sure.
Yeah, spiel of, you know, the things that you need to be paying attention to. And we've also spoken about, you know, how we were listening to our body and listening to what was going on in life, and we adjusted. And are adjusting and are continuously adjusting. And so stepping into you is thinking about, as you are every single step of the way stepping into the better self and the best self of you. How are you listening to yourself? How are you educating yourself on yourself? And how are you listening to yourself? So how are you educating yourself, listening to yourself, and damn, I lost the first one that I said.
I feel like they fell into the 2.
Yeah. And then how are you loving yourself every single day? So the three selves.
We just gotta do right by ourselves, because honestly, the way the world's going, we really do gotta take care of ourselves. So stepping into ourselves and really reflecting and doing better for ourselves.
Yes.
So, am I going into fashion forward?
Yes, ma'am.
Man, I had such a rant, but then I just said so much about the vaccine, but I guess we can make it quick. So for fashion forward today, it was stepping outside of actually speaking on a brand or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I saw this tweet, and it was about like stiletto heels and how a lot of men were in the post talking about, like in the thread talking about, oh, I only like when my woman wears stiletto heels. Like, I don't like wedges. I don't like that other stuff. And I'm going to tell you, I mean, you're like probably the last person I should have this conversation with, because I already know how you feel about it. But I'm still going to ask you.
You already heard mine.
Yeah. Because I'm not one that always goes for stiletto heels, just because, one, they are not the most comfortable, and two, like, I like what I like. So whatever I see and I like, that's what I buy. So I don't give a damn about no stilettos, nor do I care about someone, like a significant other, being like, well, I prefer, or I would want you to wear these.
Yeah.
So my question is, if you were with a significant other, or someone you cared about that like you were with, and they said like, you know, I only like for you to wear this type of thing, because I can go 2 ways with it. So I'm not gonna, you know, you can think I would probably go one way with it, but I can go different ways with it. So in your opinion, if someone's like, I prefer if you wear this, like I only like my girl to wear this, and you're my girl, so I only want you to wear this. What's your take? Like, I only want you, Eerees, to wear stiletto heels, even though you haven't worn a heel since 1995, if that, because I know you just don't be wearing them.
So I'll start off by saying you fell in love with me, and you fell in love with me a certain way. So you might love a way that things happen because it might turn you on, but at the end of the day, you fell in love with me. And if you fell in love with me, you fell in love with me for me being me. So you asking me and telling me that I need to be wearing heels for you? No. No. No, no, and no. Like, I feel like that would be if the guy was to actually say that, then he's not actually paying attention. And he's not actually there for the relationship that we fostered, but he's there for whatever fantasy that he has in his head.
Now that you say that, what if he does have a fantasy in his head and he does love you the way you are, but he's always been like, I've always loved a nice stiletto heel on my girl when we're about to get it on and popping?
Listen, I can crossplay for you and role play for you, but like that's not staying for a long time. So like, let's say that, like, you know, he tells me, listen, I love my stiletto heels and that's gonna bring me up and ready and do whatever I need to do. I can definitely please him in that way, but I'm not doing that every single day.
Okay.
And I'm not going out and spending 3 hours to like wear these stilettos every day. No, maybe if anything, like if I know that that actually turns him on, or if that, or if like that's a love language of his, I will go out in the outfit that I wear and probably loafers. And then like maybe once we get into, like once we're in the car and we're about to get out the door to get into the house, I might change my loafers and put the stiletto heels so that it's like from the car to the house I'm wearing stiletto heels. So you see that like right before we're about to, like, you know, do it and all that jazz. Yes. But like if you're telling me that I need to change who I am like on a regular basis to please you, that's a different story.
All right. I'm in the kind of same boat. So like I saw the tweet and I was really annoyed at first because like everybody that was in the thread was like, yeah, that's all my girl can wear. And honestly, ain't nobody gonna tell me what I can wear.
No.
I mean, and my idea is like you fell in love with me for me, right? So I'm like, you fell in love with me, and I'm pretty sure you're very aware I'm not someone that does very well with telling me what to do. So if you fell in love with me, then you have been very aware that you can't really tell me what to do.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not telling me what to do, but you're saying, hey babe, I like you in a little heel here and there, I'm like, all right babe, like since you've been behaving yourself or something.
Since you've been behaving yourself.
Oh, people will rash my life. But no, I'd be like, you know what? Let me throw on this heel. Like, let's have fun. Like, that's something you enjoy. Because I know if I probably like something myself too and I suggest it and we really want to keep up and be compatible in that sense, then like, it's us. Yeah, but like, you are not going to catch me in a stiletto heel going out to like a long ass party because I can't. These ankles are not built for that. And after COVID, I put on some block heels and I still was like, how did I wear these?
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, I just wanted to know your opinion because I saw that thread and I was just like, first of all, yeah. And then some girls was like, yeah, I could never wear any other heel. And I'm like, all right, girl, you do you. Like,
because then you're not being yourself.
Yeah, and we like to dance and like we like to do stuff like that, and I don't think it's real possible in those heels.
Some people do make it happen. I'm just not gonna be one of those people.
Yeah. All right. We agree.
But like, I think the important thing to note is that like, it's not that
it's changing.
Yeah, like as long as you're not saying that like this needs you, I need you to do this and I'm trying to change you because of my liking, versus I like this and, you know, on some occasions I would love for you to wear a stiletto heel, and or this is what turns me on or gets me there, so like I would love for us to cosplay or role play in a certain way to do that sort of stuff. Like that's a different story.
Have you ever role played?
I definitely have.
Okay. I just wanted to know.
But the thing is, like, if you're trying to change who I am, that's a whole different story. Right. Because it's just like, then who are you in a relationship with?
Right. And why now? Like, you should have just started this from the jump, and then we would have just made it known from the get. These ankles are not fit for these stilettos.
Transparency, transparency, transparency.
Communication is key. But I guess that's all I had for fashion forward. I saw that and I was a little triggered, so I just wanted to make sure, not make sure, but I just want to put it out in the ether and see what you think and see what other people might think. You know, don't come from my head. You know, like, tread lightly.
I feel like you've been saying that throughout this whole
because people be getting real serious sometimes, and like, I know how I am, and I don't care about being open and honest, but I ain't gonna answer you if you want to rush my life, really. So like, let's not waste each other's energy and spend more time being happy than like coming at each other. So like, I have an opinion. If you want to share your opinion, go right ahead. While I read it, we'll see. I'll read it. But like, you know, as long as we're not angry and we're really trying to just be productive and do better for ourselves, then I'm down. But other than that, just don't come from my neck. And I won't come from yours. For yours. But from fashion forward,
resonating from she.
I really got nothing for resonating with she. This whole conversation resonated with me. What about you?
Resonating with she. I don't know. I'm just kidding. No, I do know. So what's been resonating with me is my nails.
Because I hide mine.
I am not the type of person that does acrylic nails. So if you see me, or if you had seen me before and then you see these, I always get the face of like, oh wow, Iris, you out here with acrylics, la la la. They're growing onto me. I'm not gonna lie.
This time.
Yes.
Aren't they the best? I think they're the best.
My favorite are stilettos.
Still, okay.
Yeah. Stilettos apparently are the pointy ones. But resonating with she is really being open to change. Because
just not stiletto heels.
No.
Just in case, because someone's gonna say it like, you want to change now for some nails, but you can't change for some stilettos. So I just want to throw that out there before.
Listen, they're not comfortable. I'm sorry. So I'm not saying that I love acrylic nails. I'm just warming up to them.
Though.
Yeah. I'm just warming up to them. And my awesome cousin, her name is Elizabeth. She is becoming an
esthetician.
Yes, and she is beginning her nail career, and she asked me to be her nail model, and I've enjoyed it because it's given her and I time to just like bond. And so literally I mostly look forward to like, do I love the nails? I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah, like I was typing and I'm just like, I can't do this. How do you guys do this? And some of you guys have them longer. And it's like, how am I wiping my ass? But I figured it out, you know? So basically, it's given her and I time to get to know each other a little more and really talk about life and family and all of that. And so every time I look at the nails, it's just a reminder that there will be a point in time that I get to go back to her and continue to have a conversation with her and get to know her, but also her daughter, who is the cutest thing in the whole wide world. And so resonating with she is, I am warming up to these beautiful nails. We'll put the her tag, her IG, so that you guys can
see your hands all modeling all over
basically
Instagram.
You know, I've been trying. I do the little like but I've enjoyed it, and I think that I'm warming up more and more because again, I get to go back and it's, these are every time I look, I'm just like, these look nice.
I stocked up on a bunch of press-ons, and I really, they're cute and all that, but I just be lazy. And I just ordered new ones today, so. But they're really cute and stuff, so see, I think like now that's warming up and I'm actually trying to get dressed and I want to be dressed. Yeah. I'm going to do the whole thing, because when you put yourself together in the way that you like you feel real good, so.
When you look good, you feel good.
And the fact that we dressed intentionally to feel better today, we really live by it, y'all.
It's those coping mechanisms.
But as always, it's been a fun ride. I'm Daphny Emily.
And I'm Eerees Cyrus.
And we are Soulful She.
And as always, they can listen, he can listen, but she is speaking.
And we might be one more drop in the ocean, or we just might be that last sip to quench your thirst.